I have a handful of things to cover with regards to the masterclass coming up on August the 25th. That's a Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific. This class is specifically for those of you who are doing everything that we covered with regards to light and even nutrition to some degree, but more specifically with regards to light, and you've been implementing those things and you still are finding it hard to get deep, restful, prolonged, sufficient sleep without supplements, gadgets, hacks, or any of the remedies that are typically sold or given to you when you have any type of sleep disturbance. So in this class, our goal is not going to be to go after specific sleep disorders, because that's kind of in the realm of diagnosing. So that would be the equivalent of us going after different things like SIBO or different words within the nutrition. We just gave you the rules and the understanding of how your body actually works with regards to digestion, assimilation, and elimination, so that then you can go and make the food choices that you need to make with regards to where you're at in your life. So that's going to be similar with this topic, because we're not going to know exactly where each one of you are. And that's the hard thing about doing a format like this is when you're doing medicine, true medicine, it is so individual that I would have to sit with you to be able to come up with your treatment plan or our plan of action, or come up with the modifications that you would need to make. So in a class setting like this, we can't do that. So what I try to do is be as comprehensive as possible so that you know all of the most typical ways that people break the rules, how you can break the rules without even knowing, and then what the rules actually are and how to follow those within that umbrella of sleep, right? So sleep is a rule within a rule, and we are just focusing on those things that will inhibit or impact sleep to some degree. So with that being said, the light masterclass should be done first. So if you have disrupted sleep or difficulty sleeping or insomnia or any of those things in the category of disrupted sleep, do the light masterclass first, and if that takes care of everything, you're done. That is usually the biggest thing with regards to breaking the rules that I see across the board. And hardly anyone is doing it exactly quote unquote right. You'll take the class and see how language is a little bit of an obstacle when we're talking about truths. But so if you haven't done that class, do that class first. Then implement that with consistency, because it's not just a protocol. It's not just a, do it for a short amount of time and then stop. It's a life prescription. That means you are going to have to do those things to get the outcome of that input. Meaning, you can't go get tan one time and expect to be tan for the rest of your life. So when it comes to living your life as your medicine, you actually have to do these things daily. And it's just as essential as light and digestion and nutrition and all of the other rules that we'll go into. This one again is specifically for sleep. So the other thing is, don't forget to, if you have done the light class, you've implemented it, given it a sufficient amount of time, and you're still finding it difficult to fall asleep without drugs, supplements, gadgets, all of that stuff, then you can consider this course. And if you do purchase a ticket, be sure to send Bailey those 3 questions. Again, we don't go into specifics with regards to a diagnosis. That's not even how I work in regular medicine, and it definitely isn't going to be what we address in these group settings. So more general, if you can kind of break away from the terms given to you and ask a question in that way, those are the questions that we'll consider for that end of that portion of the Q&A after the class is done. That should be it. Oh, and then some of you are asking about children. So the best thing and my most favorite thing with this medicine is when the parents live it, the kids get it by default. They are a side effect of the life that their parents live, and it just naturally happens. So to put a kid in a class to learn how to live, that doesn't really work for how I do things. Again, if you're a parent and likes for them to have education, or you might run your household differently or whatever, and you want them to be exposed to this type of information, that's one thing. But to change a child, I find that it is the parents changing that puts those truths and weaves those truths into the fabric of their lifestyle, without force, without effort, without convincing. When they see their parents doing it, or if it's just how you live life, then it just becomes a natural side effect for the children to follow you. So you can have your kids there. It is going to be really intense, and we don't waste a lot of time with fillers. So it's going to be a lot of information jam-packed in 2 hours. So I don't really know that it's going to be kid-friendly. Occasionally I have some cool jokes, but it's going to be just information dense. So again, you can make the call as a parent if you want your kids to sit in on that. But again, I generally find that kids do best when parents change and their household change and their lifestyle with their parents changes, and then they'll change just as, you know, a beautiful, sweet side effect of those changes. So if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I'll do another Q&A up in the stories, and then you can also ask here on this post too, and we will get those answered. Again, it's 9 days away. So if you're sleeping soundly, probably not the class for you, unless you're just really interested in how I approach true medicine and how we would approach sleep. But past that, this is just for those of you that haven't been able to figure out sleep. I've gone to lots of practitioners, I've tried lots of things, or on a lot of supplements. It's a beautiful topic when you go at it from a truthful standpoint, because it's one of the best demonstrations of how when you try harder, you get further away from your desired goal. And so when you're working with the nervous system in human physiology and biochemistry and hormones, you can't force them into submission. And if you are, you're stuck in that world of manipulation, which is supplements, pharmaceutical drugs, gadgets, all of those things where you can't sleep if you don't have those things. And true freedom is to not need any of those things and to know how to organize a day and what is required psychologically, emotionally, and structurally, and in your life to get the desired outcome. And that's so much more freeing and so much more liberating, and you are never a slave to an industry because you don't need anything from anyone. And so that's the way this medicine works. And so that's going to be the nature of this class. But it's going to be a beautiful topic. We'll get into emotions and psychology and relationships just a tad, because it definitely is a huge factor when it comes to sleep. So if you're interested, join me. It's going to be on Friday, August 25th, 3 p.m. Pacific. We will be gifting a recording. But you are not purchasing the recording. We've had a lot of obstacles come up with regards to the replay. So we will be giving a 7-day replay. Go and look at the link, read through all the fine print on when that's going to start, how long you're going to have it. It's not 7 days from when you start the link, it's 7 days from when we post it. And we've also had some sharing of the class without purchasing it, so my assistant has to go through there and manually approve of everything too, to kind of troubleshoot that a little bit for right now. So be sure to read those disclaimers, all of the information that we have available before you purchase a ticket. And purchasing a ticket is for the live event, but we will be gifting a 7-day replay following that for the next 7 days from the event, for those of you that are in different countries, have kids, have work at that time, or need to sleep at that time. So that will be there too. All of the information is on that link. If you have any other questions, you can again ask them here or email my assistant at info@gritnaturalmedicine.com. She is a real human, so be kind to her. She's also my little sister. So we genuinely care about everything. We read everything. And we will get back to you as soon as we can. But she has a lot she manages through that email. So that being said, Friday, August 25th, if you're still here, hi, thank you. And I am excited to see you live in 9 days.